Hello again, and welcome to Museum on Main's video tour of the Waterways exhibit, brought to you by the Smithsonian Institution's Museum on Main Street program and Exhibit Envoy. I'm Ken McLennan, and this week we are going to be looking at some of the challenges that face this country in maintaining a sustainable water supply that is usable for everyone. Let's begin with quantity. In short, we're using water faster than the cycle can replenish it. In 2014, the Government Accountability Office estimated that by 2024, 40 of the 50 states will be facing water shortages. These shortages can be partially attributed to population growth, but they also reflect greater per capita use. The responses to these shortages include attempts at greater efficiency, recycling and rainwater capture, and even desalinization. Global climate change creates further challenges, and not always in an obviously predictable fashion. Though the overall trend is warmer, that broad trend hides a wider range of more extreme weather patterns. And so as the poles lose ice and sea levels rise, we also see more storms in some places and longer droughts in others. Each phenomenon puts increased strain on a manageable human relationship with water. Pollution and agricultural runoff also strain usable water supplies, because that water becomes less useful for other purposes. And it's not just industrial waste and runoff from fertilizer and pesticides that creates problems. Everything we wash down the drain as consumers gets into the environment. Even after wastewater treatment, it can end up in the ground and leach into rivers and aquifers. In 2009, the Environmental Protection Agency concluded that 55% of the waterways in the United States suffered measurably from pollution. So let's look at a case study in local solutions to water pollution. Lake Como near Fort Worth, Texas. In 1995, the lake was barred for fishing and recreation because of pesticide residues. But the city's environmental management department developed a plan to reclaim it. It began with education and safe waste disposal, expanded to festivals and cleanup events, and even included public service announcements at local theaters. By 2008, the sustained effort paid off, and Lake Como was once again open for fishing. Sometimes a bigger effort is necessary. The Cuyahoga River flows through Cleveland, Ohio, and it had been one of the nation's most polluted waterways since before we started tracking pollution. The river had actually caught fire from oil and debris floating on its surface 13 times between 1868 and 1969. National media coverage and pressure from citizens groups as well as local officials pushed the federal government to create the Environmental Protection Agency in 1970, followed by the Clean Water Act in 1972. With funding and enforcement authority, the EPA supported cleanup efforts not only on the Cuyahoga, but on waterways throughout the country. Managing water resources has become part of many school curricula as people have embraced the importance of the issue. The Smithsonian offers various programs to help students understand the science of water and water management. Here in Pleasanton, the Go Green Initiative is pursuing similar efforts to help schools teach the values of conservation and resource stewardship. And that concludes the latest installment of our Waterways video tour. This is also the last major theme of the exhibit, but next week we will do a special close-up at a couple of the interactives that we didn't take care of yet. Thanks for coming, and speaking on behalf of Smithsonian Institution, Exhibit Envoy, and Pleasanton's Museum on Main, this is Ken McLennan thanking you all for tuning in and hoping to see you next week.